come close somebody wasn't allowed, you shouldn't have fucked with.
Oh, as I get older, I really understand that movie. This is Tim's New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Want to talk about the end of training camp? Want to talk about the joint practice with the Jets? Want to talk about this last preseason game against the Jets, the Snoopy Bowl? Is it still even called the Snoopy Bowl? I mean, Snoopy used to be MetLife's mascot. I don't know if he still is, but and it wasn't. I always thought it wasn't that masculine, the Snoopy Bowl. But you know, as one of the most masculine sports around, I always think of that clip from Draft Day when they're in the lunchroom and the one lady goes, "Why is it the most masculine sport in the world? The biggest trophy or the thing you get is jewelry." I always thought that was interesting, you know, because you got to kind of think of it that way as well. But the New York Giants, you know what? They got issues. They got problems. They have concerns. And if you're going to overlook or try to overlook some of these concerns, I think you're going to be very disappointed in this season. You could see, and everyone's mad at Sauce. Everyone's terribly mad at Sauce because he disrespected Daniel Jones. Because he was asked that question, you know, what do you think of Daniel Jones? And he just kind of paused and laughed. I think the rest of the league does that. I think the only problem is it's just what Giants fans' perceptions are of Daniel Jones, and this has always been an uphill tread with him ever since he was taken 6th overall.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
And that's what I think the Giants are doing and have been doing for now going on 6 fucking years. Oh, dear Lord. I got to laugh. I'm not going to go to the game on Saturday. And I usually go to every preseason game. I usually go to every home game. Sometimes I go to a couple away games, but I was invited. And this is for the great unwashed who are going to be mad at me. I was invited to get VIP access for the Eagles Minnesota game. So I'm going to go to that. So I mean, hell, you get to go out I get to go out on the field again. You know, I'm gonna see if I can't get to interview with Saquon Barkley. Then I'm sitting in the front row in the club. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I don't give a shit who it is. Plus, it's closer to my house. It's a lot easier to go on to Philadelphia than it is trucking up 2 hours to go to New York. So I'll probably be taking pictures and sending them out. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. So I'm kind of see what happens to it. But if you look at this Giant team, look at the way it's built, it's always going to rally around Daniel Jones. But the problem is, I think that rally is a losing rally. It is what it is. I mean, you literally can sit there and just try to put your head in the sand about what you have at the quarterback position. You have a 6-year quarterback who still makes first-year mistakes. You have a 6-year quarterback that really no one in the league respects outside of his ability to run. And then when he does run, he has a propensity of getting injured. You went against all conventional NFL wisdom and drafted a wide receiver to try to fix your quarterback. Most people think the quarterback is going to make the wide receiver better. No, we are throwing caution to the wind. We are doing everything differently because of the fact that you know what we're doing?
Excuse me. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
We're dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight here because we're going against all conventional NFL wisdom to try to fix this guy. And we're only trying to fix this guy because we're on the hook for so much fucking money. It's just bad. I just think the offense is going to be bad. I think at some point in time, you are going to see Drew Lock. Hell, at some point in time, I think you're going to see Tommy DeVito. This game, when I just said about the Texans game that Daboll needed to play his starters. And I agree with that statement. I stuck with that statement. He did play his starters. He played them a lot longer than I thought he would, but he did play his starters for almost a half. But this is a game that you have no benefit for playing your starters. You have no benefit to risk any type of injury or on a depleted roster right now whose depth isn't there. So you have no. I have no qualms if he does not play. Daboll does not play any of his starters. I really don't. There's so many other things that you got to look at. I mean, you have to look at the fact that this secondary, Tyler Nubin is finally has replaced Dane Belton. Thank God. You don't have a CB2. I'm not confident in your slot corner. I'm not confident in your linebackers outside of Bobby Okereke. I'm not confident that we have the ability to stop the run on the outside because I don't think either Burns or Thibodeau understands how to at times maintain their edge and hold their assignments against the run, especially on the outside. And we don't have quality enough linebackers to man that position and help make up for their deficiencies because they're going to have to be used to rush the passer because Shane Bowen, of course, likes to rush 4. So if you're not going to do a lot of blitzing and you're rushing 4, you're going to be relying heavily on your outside linebackers to maintain their assignments and hold the edge against the run. Or we're going to see a lot of long running plays this year like we did a couple of years ago during Joe Judge's first year. So if you can get through all that, you go to the offense. The wide receiver room right now is probably the deepest room that we have. But I've been saying this all along. All you did was add Malik Neighbors. Everyone else is the same outside of getting rid of Sterling Shepard. So it's not like you went and reinvented the wide receiver room by bringing in 3-4 guys. No, you brought in one guy and you're beginning to, you hope and you think that he is going to be the answer if teams just don't decide to double team him all day long because they're not really afraid of anyone else outside of Darius Slayton. Then you got to worry about this running game. Motor Singletary. He was ranked 31st worst starting running back in the league and 32nd by Pro Football Focus and CBS Sports, respectively. What's behind him does not instill confidence. Eric, the gray ghost, I wish he would disappear like Casper because of the fact that I just don't see him being a quality backup. Could Eric Gray be a third down back catching ball in the backfield? Yes, he's shown his propensity of doing that. But at the end of the day, I'm not filled with this warm, fuzzy feeling, especially if you got the likes of Motor behind him. Not Motor, the Turbo. Turbo's behind him. Dante Miller. Turbo! Then you'll have to look at the tight ends. I don't see a lot of Pro Bowl or first team. I think of it this way. Our starting tight ends would probably be second to third teamers on another team. I just don't understand where this talent has gone. This is Joe Schoen's year 3 of the rebuild. We have been ranked anywhere between the 31st and 32nd worst roster in the league. They're already giving us the number 1 overall pick and tagging us to get a quarterback. Most of the pundits. You want to think of that Lou Brown scene in Major League when he says, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we can give everyone a shit sandwich and make them take a huge bite out of it." That's what you kind of hope the Giants can do. But if they win 6-7 games, I'd be surprised. I'd be shocked. They are an injury away for having something catastrophic happen on the offensive line, on the defensive line, and the linebacking core. I don't think as much as in the in the quarterback room because I don't think anything of Daniel Jones. You saw the level of difference between Daniel Jones, or I should say the Giants and the Jets. You saw the difference. You literally saw the difference. And you got to kind of hold your head and worry a little bit. I think the Jets are, of course, are 2 minutes. So they're not 2 minutes, but they are a quarter. The Jets are a quarterback away from being a really good playoff team. Aaron Rodgers, which I didn't think was going to happen. Aaron Rodgers picked on Deontay Smith at one point during the joint practice. 4 passes against him. Then Okereke picked off one in the end zone, but I was very surprised by that. Tyrod Taylor threw a 51-yard touchdown pass. That's not shocking. Isaiah Simmons also saw some time as the inside linebacker position with Bobby Okereke. Isaiah Simmons. We haven't seen anything from him. He's showing nothing once again, but it is what it is. I do think it's interesting that Theo Johnson did beat Sauce Gardner at one point in time, which could have been a huge pass play, but he dropped the ball. He dropped the pass. You know what? I can't wait for the Knicks. I can't wait for the Knicks to start. I'm going to be continuing a new Knicks podcast going on from last year's podcast. It's going to be New York Knicks Unleashed, the 2024-2025 season. So make sure you're going to stay tuned. It's going to be right here on this channel. Probably school is starting. Oh, shoot. School is starting next week. And this weekend's going to be tough because we got a lot going on because we're trying to do a lot with the kids before school starts. So there's probably not going to be a stream on Sunday morning because I think we're having a bunch of friends over and barbecuing and stuff. So we're going to make sure we're going to deal with that. And with school starting, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do videos. So maybe there might be a video or two a week because I also need to still focus on Get Off My Lawn, the Matt Remings of a Gen Xer. And I'm going to focus on the next podcast. So we're going to still have a lot of fun this Giant season. So make sure you look out for that. I'll come up with a better schedule sometime next week or the week after. It really does depend on school and how the kids do in school because they're going into higher grades this year. And there's probably gonna need some help from Daddy OBB. So we got to make sure we're going to stay tuned for that. But we'll always have time to do at least a video a week for the Giants. But like I said, I really am going to focus a little bit more on the Knicks and the Get Off My Lawn until the season really gets underway. And we really, like Joe Shane, I have to wait 4 or 5 weeks so I can really know what this team is going to be. And as always, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. That'll be awesome.